Boos rang around Stamford Bridge at full time as Chelsea lost 2-0 to Aston Villa at home for the first time since December 2011. Now, obviously, tensions are boiling high after this disappointing result, and I'm sure many Chelsea fans will be Potter out if they weren't already. And as a United fan myself, I'm not here to tell you guys how to feel about the situation. I'm just here to provide my perspective on the game from a tactical and statistical perspective. So Chelsea went down 1-0 in the first half to a goal by Ollie Watkins. Defensively, I think most people watching that game would agree that it was a communication error between Koulibaly and Cucurella. And as the senior center back, who's played in Europe for so many years, I blame Koulibaly more than I blame Cucurella for that one, because all he has to do is ask him to leave it because the ball's in his path anyways. And Koulibaly was at fault against Everton as well for that second goal that Sims scored, but you guys decide who takes more of the blame here. Offensively, Chelsea created 3 big chances in that first half and missed all 3 of them. They had 14 shots to Villa's 3 and created 1.57 xG to Villa's 0.75. At halftime, I actually went back to watch some of those chances, and Mudryk in the 6th minute could have scored when Villa made a defensive error in the box, and he had that chance one-on-one against Martinez in the 31st minute as well. Havertz in the 25th minute could have scored with his left foot from inside the box, but he didn't put enough power in the shot, and Martinez saved it quite easily. Then Chilwell hit the post with that shot from a tight angle in the 35th minute, and Felix in the 36th minute could have scored from inside the box as well. So someone please explain to me, how is Chelsea not scoring from the 5 decent chances that I just described Graham Potter's fault? Also, how is that defensive mistake by Koulibaly and Cucurella Potter's fault? In fact, I thought the disallowed goal from Ben Chilwell at the end of the first half was a soft one as well, because Ashley Young is a master of the dark arts, and he's great at going down in crucial situations, especially inside the box. Trust me, I know from watching him at United myself. Look, I'm not here to defend Potter for the sake of defending Potter. I would say the same things about Erik ten Hag if this was after a United loss, or about Arteta, or about Pep, or about Klopp. And I have a lot more to say about whether or not Potter should be sacked, so stick around till the end. But I'm going to kick things off by talking through lineups, formations, and tactics. And as always, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy. And don't forget to turn on all notifications to never miss out on content just like this. So Potter stuck to the back 3 formation for the 5th game in a row since the 2-0 loss to Tottenham at the end of February by starting in the 3-4-2-1 that you see here. And this played out as a 3-2-2-3 in possession that looked like this. You had Felix through the middle with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Chilwell as high wing backs next to him. Then you had Mudryk and Havertz playing in the left and right inside spaces as 10s. Behind them you had Kovacic and Enzo playing in the midfield, who were taking turns in getting the ball off the center backs while the other one got forward. And the back 3 consisted of Cucurella, Koulibaly, and Reece James. Now, I know Chelsea fans will have a lot to say about the decision to play Reece James out of position, and I will get to that, but I want to highlight 2 in-game tactical adjustments that I saw before I do that. The first adjustment is that I saw Havertz dropping into the central areas a lot more today to play as the sole number 10, making this formation a 3-2-1-4 with Mudryk and Felix playing as the 2 strikers next to Chilwell and Loftus-Cheek. And we have a clip here to show you guys an example of this from the first half. We start with Boubacar Kamara trying to force the ball into McGinn in a tight spot in midfield, and as he plays it, Cucurella ends up winning the tackle and the ball drops to Havertz in this area, who plays it out to Chilwell on the left. And notice how Havertz is in the central 10 position while Felix and Mudryk are playing as the 2 strikers up top. As Chilwell receives it, he plays it forward into Mudryk while Havertz is making a run into this channel between Konsa and Ashley Young. Mudryk flicks it first time into Kovacic, and we see Havertz asking for the ball into this space here. And Kovacic obliges and plays a nice ball through into Havertz, and all he has to do here is play it across the box into Felix here, or maybe even Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's on the far side over here. But as he gets further up, you can see a nice little space developing for Mudryk as well at the edge of the box where Havertz can potentially cut it back. But Havertz ends up trying to find Felix, and the cross gets blocked by Konsa. There were several other moments just like this in the first half where Havertz was heavily involved in the build-up and getting into nice spaces to create chances. He had 59 touches, created 3 chances all game, had 1 dribble, and passed into the final third 4 times. But like we already discussed, Chelsea were just not taking their chances this game, including including Havertz. So I have two key takeaways here. Havertz is doing infinitely better as a number 10 than he ever did as the sole striker at Chelsea, and Chelsea are desperate for a traditional number 9 this summer, like someone like Osimhen or maybe even a Gonzalo Ramos. Chelsea fans, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about these two takeaways as we move on to the second tactical adjustment that I noticed in the game today. So after about 20 minutes in the first half, Chelsea moved to a 2-4-1-3 in possession, with Cucurella actually moving out to left wing back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek dropping a little deeper to form the 4 in midfield next to Kovacic and Enzo. Then you had Havertz in the 10 as before, and Felix moving slightly out to the right, while Mudryk playing a little more through the center. So this was the 2-4-1-3 that they had in possession, which meant that Koulibaly and Reece James were playing as the two center backs. I, for one, was very impressed with Reece James's performance in this role. He was dictating the play almost as well as a central midfielder who drops in between the center backs to build up the play. And he was defensively solid as well, with two crucial tackles in the first half. One in the 24th minute where he came across Buendia to stop the Villa counterattack, and another in the 28th minute where he put in a last-ditch tackle on Jacob Ramsey inside the box. But most importantly, he was still getting into those wing-back areas from center-back by overlapping Loftus-Cheek to put in some nice crosses. And this aspect of him starting as a center-back provides amazing flexibility to Chelsea, especially when you're playing against a low block like you did today against Villa. And I have some clips here to show you guys just this. We start with Chelsea taking a short corner into Mihailo Mudryk in the 23rd minute. Look at how Reece James is on the edge of the box, just like he would be if he was the starting right back. As the ball goes out to Reece James from Mudryk, he finds himself in tons of space as the Villa defenders are just giving him way too much room here to put a cross into the box. And if we just pause here for a second, Reece James has to be in the top 3 in the world in terms of early crosses from areas like this, as only Kevin De Bruyne and Trent Alexander-Arnold can probably rival him at this skill. And he, of course, goes on to put in a pinpoint cross on Enzo Fernandez's head, and I want you guys to take a second and admire this cross because of how close these three players are. There's barely 2 or 3 steps between Mings and Watkins, but James has managed to find Enzo Fernandez in between those two players. And unfortunately, Enzo's header goes just wide of the post. Had he got it on target, I don't think Martinez is saving that one. In our second clip, we start with Loftus-Cheek playing a ball into Havertz and running inside into the box. As we play along, Havertz turns back and plays it into Enzo to keep possession. And as Enzo tries to figure out what's going on, notice how Villa are 3v3 in this area here, and Reece James recognizes this perfectly and is ready to join in and create an overload out wide. So we see James overlapping Enzo to get into tons of space over here, and Enzo plays it perfectly into Reece James's path, and James gets onto the ball and puts in a cross from that area, but unfortunately it ends up being a poor one and Mings is able to cut it out. But if you had this play happen about 10 times, you'd expect someone of Reece James's quality to put in a good cross 8 or 9 times out of 10. My point being, Potter likes one of his center backs in the back 3 to overlap as a wing back when the opposition is sitting deep, and we've talked about this several times on the channel. And playing Reece James at center back offers this flexibility really well because of how versatile this guy is. And I can say this as a United fan, I think Reece James has to be one of the best defenders in the Premier League, period. Not just the best fullback, but the best defender. If you had to make one list out of the best fullbacks and defenders, tell me another Premier League defender that you would put over him. But if you guys want to get on Potter's back about something today, it's the selection of Ruben Loftus-Cheek at right wing back, because he was absolutely crap today. I'm not sure if he was thinking about Laura Woods every time the ball got to him, but he took so bloody long to put those crosses into the box. He attempted 6 crosses and was late on every single one. Alex Moreno, the Villa left back, will be begging the Premier League to play against Loftus-Cheek every single week. And the minute Reece James got into a similar area to cross the ball, he looked a million times better. Someone explained to me how Loftus-Cheek has 0 crosses completed from right wing back when Reece James from center back has 2 completed. I know most Chelsea fans would have wanted Reece James to start at right wing back and a traditional center back to start at center back. But who exactly does Potter start there? Fofana is injured again for the millionth time. Badiashile was kind of crap against Everton, and maybe you guys will agree that Chalobah isn't good enough at a Premier League level. And let's not forget, there are some benefits of playing Reece James at center back like we just saw. Potter came into this game expecting Villa to sit deep, and he wanted to deploy his overlapping center backs in that 1-4-4-1 formation to full effect, trying to pin Villa into their own half and create lots of chances. And guess what? They actually managed to do all of these things in terms of creating chances and having most of the possession, but they couldn't finish the chances they created, and they conceded one from a mistake and one from a John McGinn worldie. I mean, when someone like John McGinn scores his first goal in 50 games for Villa from a chance like that, Graham Potter has to be thinking to himself that he's the unluckiest man in the world. After going down 2-0 in the 56th minute, Potter made some changes by going to the 3-5-2 with Kante and Madueke coming on for Loftus-Cheek and Mudryk, but it was going to be too difficult for Chelsea to come back from 2 goals down against this Villa team because Emery switched them to a 5-3-2 at halftime by bringing on Callum Chambers for Kamara, and this team is just too good and too well organized to concede 2 goals from there. They were happy to sit deep and defend their 2-goal lead against this Chelsea team. And look, I know you guys are disappointed with the result, and it definitely hasn't been good so far under Graham Potter, but like we saw in this game, and probably to some extent in the draw against Everton, a lot of things that are outside of Potter's control are going against him. The team's finishing is poor like it was across the 11 games in January and February where they scored only 4 goals. And you have 3 injuries at center back, which is forcing Potter to tinker with the starting 11 time and time again. And to be honest, more than anyone else, the Fofana injury sucks for Chelsea because he was starting to look really good at right center back, and key players like Koulibaly, Cucurella, and Kepa are letting him down in big moments. So when expectations are high and the reality is poor, you are absolutely right to want Potter to be sacked as a manager. But what do you actually get by sacking Potter at this time? I think most Chelsea fans will agree that this season is gone in terms of finishing in the top 4, and you've had to deal with a change of ownership, a change of manager and backroom staff, and a massive influx of new players. With that much turmoil in one season, I think a poor season was well on the cards. Any club under any manager in these circumstances would definitely struggle. And let's not forget that someone like Arteta finished 8th, and 6th for 3 consecutive seasons before turning things around to probably win the league this season. So Chelsea fans, are you okay with one bad season under Potter, and are you willing to give him till the end of next season to judge his performance as a coach? Or would you rather sack him now and appoint somebody else? The choice is yours. I have no personal attachment to Potter, and I won't lose any sleep if he gets sacked, but I think he deserves another season. Get in the comments below with your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.